Hello, welcome. My name is Victor. I'm a social worker and chemical dependency counselor located in Portland, Oregon, and I am licensed in Oregon and Washington. I am so honored that you would spend just a couple of minutes of your day talking with me about progressive muscle relaxation, which is a skill that is very tried and true. It is a skill that was developed almost 100 years ago, and there is tons of data to support its being effective in reducing stress, anxiety, depression, a very effective skill. And the data suggests that most people respond well to it, and it's actually very, very, very small percentage of people that don't. So it's one of those things that we just know works really well in addressing things like depression and anxiety and some of the responses that we have if we experience something like post-traumatic stress disorder. So a little bit of background, progressive muscle relaxation was developed by a man named Edmund Jacobson, and he started his work in the early 1900s. He was interested in mind-body connection, so he was interested in seeing how our minds and our bodies interplay. And one of the things that he started to develop in the 1930s was looking at the notion of when somebody has a response to a threat in their environment and their body becomes activated because they have been told by their brain that there's a threat, and their body is then responding to that threat. And one of the hormones that gets activated when we experience a stressful circumstance is cortisol. It comes in to help us address a stressful circumstance. And sometimes what happens after the stressful circumstance is that our cortisol levels and our anxiety remains really high. And so he was looking at progressive muscle relaxation as a way to reduce our threat response once the threat is passed. One of the things that he talked about, which I thought was really interesting, was a difference between rest and relaxation. Oftentimes we hear them paired together and they might seem like the same thing, but they're actually different. So rest is when we simply rest and we don't move. Relaxation is a little bit deeper. It's a little bit different. It's when we have some intentionality around really grounding and honing in some of our emotional responses. What I like to say, the difference is like if you've had a really, really stressful day and somebody is like, just go home and rest. Just like go home, take a breather. It's all going to be good tomorrow. So you go home, you rest. You might just go straight to bed, or you might just like sit in front of the TV and you just kind of rest. And then you might find that the next day when you wake up, you're still in the same spot that you were the day before with all of that stress and all of that anxiety really present for you. And so relaxation is much more intentional. It is a something that we have to put a little bit of effort into to really deactivate our bodies after a stressful circumstance. So we'll go ahead and start this activity. And so if you want to, this is actually done much better lying down. So for the purposes of demonstration, I'm sitting, but you are more than welcome to lie down. But before you do so, I would like you to take a tiny little piece of paper, just something that you can write on, and really quickly on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being I'm top of the world, no stress, I'm great, and 5 being I'm stressed to the max, I can barely take it. Where are you on that scale right now? So on a 1 to 5 scale. So I'll give you a second. Take another sip of water while you do that. All right. So hopefully you've jotted down that number, and we'll come back to that later. So in this activity, we're going to start off with just doing some really nice deep breathing. And so what I always like to do is concentrate oxygen in the belly. And so just take a couple of really deep belly breaths to start us off. And doing that deep belly breathing alone might release some stress. So what I want us to do first is draw some awareness into our feet. So kind of see, just do a little bit of a inventory of your feet. Just how are they feeling? And then the next time you breathe in, I want you to go ahead and scrunch up your feet. Not super tight, not to strain yourself, but tight enough. So hold that tension, take a breath in, and then release. And through, just keep that deep belly breathing going. Sometimes the way I like to describe progressive muscle relaxation is when you have a little bit of saran wrap and you crumple it up and you make a little tiny ball and then you release and it kind of just rests back. It goes into its original shape. So next I want us to take a time to give some awareness to our hands. So just kind of feel your hands. Just be attentive to them as a part of your body. Just notice them. And then again, not to the point of strain, but the next breath in, go ahead and ball up your fists. Really, really tight, but not to the point of straining. And keep that tension. We're going to take a breath in. And then on the breath out, release the hands. You might feel some subtle differences in how your hands feel. Next, we're going to move on to our shoulders. It's where a lot of tension is carried for a lot of us. I'm feeling it today. And then on your next breath in, go ahead and bring your shoulders up to your ears and hold that tension. Hold, hold. Breath in. Go ahead and release that. Reminder to keep that deep belly breathing going as we're moving through. Next, we'll pay attention to our face. So sometimes we hold some tension in our faces. You might hear the expression of a furrowed brow, and that's some tension. So on your next breath in, just scrunch up your face. Again, not super tight, but tight enough. Hold the tension, squeeze your eyes, furrow that brow. Big breath in. And then on the exhale, go ahead and release the tension from your face. And that was some progressive muscle relaxation. So I hope that you feel a little bit better. And if you would, can take some time, take a couple of moments to do this if you're lying down. But find that piece of paper again where you had on a 1 to 5 and go ahead and write the number that you are now after we've done the activity. And I hope that that number has reduced just a little bit. The goal sometimes, as I've mentioned in other activities, is that sometimes the number doesn't change. It stays the same, but that's okay too, because sometimes these activities are meant to contain and keep us from moving higher. So as long as you didn't get higher, then I was successful in providing a little bit of guidance around this activity. One of the things that I really like about progressive muscle relaxation is that it teaches our bodies that tension is temporary. And so when we're experiencing a tense moment in life and we're experiencing something that's really, really hard, sometimes it can feel like it's going to last forever. But the reality is that that is a temporary feeling. All right. Well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you have other questions or would like to talk further, I'm available at victorcounseling@outlook.com. All right. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.